I decided to let's just start on the phone, right? I always try to start on the computer and then we just end up on the phone anyway. So we might as well just start on the phone, right, you guys? So welcome, welcome, welcome. 6:57. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here tonight. It is Sunday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Come on in here. It's Sunday. It is Sunday. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sunday, October 12th. Minnesota, you always in the house. Come on in here, Minnesota. Welcome, welcome. You guys, what's going on? Tell me where you're from. I already know where Minnesota is from, so he doesn't have to tell me. He's been joining me like almost every night. Minnesota, I'm happy. I'm happy about that, you guys. Auction Mom, that's right. Come on in here. Zandria, you are from California, aren't you? California? Did I just make that up? I feel like you're from California. H-Town, come on in here, Houston, with all the foreclosures. Richie, you need to be going for the foreclosures. DC, come on in here. We got the Northeast. We have Texas. We got a couple minutes. We'll see who's in here. Richie, Texas is #1, like on everything right now. You know what I mean? If I lived in Texas, the incredible Gail, this is your first live. Welcome. I hope you enjoy it. From Louisiana. Texas is the #1 on like all the foreclosure lists. Overall highest foreclosure rates, REO properties, and new foreclosure starts. Houston and Texas is just at the top. Come on in here, by the book. Come on in here from Michigan and Louisiana. You know, Louisiana has the longest foreclosure timeline. Also, your first live and looking at me, Business Academy. I'm telling you, get you a good foreclosure. I'm telling y'all. I don't know why y'all don't listen to me. Get you a good foreclosure. Come on in here from Montgomery, Alabama. Love it. There you look, y'all. I just had to throw in something real quick. I've been trying to... Nothing. Right? I've been live all 3 days. All 3 days. We're on fall break here in Memphis. So I was like, let me go talk to my people on YouTube. I posted a new video on YouTube today. I don't know if y'all watched it. The live, you guys, the live from last night already has like 4,000 views. I guess we really had a good conversation last night. 4,000 views on the live. Let's see. Let's see what we got going. What was I going to say? Shout out to everybody that joined the mentorship. We're going to have a good mentorship, you guys. This will be the last one for the year. I will try to figure out how to put the link up because y'all were like, how do we join? And I'm on the phone, so I can't drop the link on the phone, but I'm going to try to do that. We'll figure it out. It's 7 o'clock. Let me do this introduction, and then we can jump in tonight, okay? From Italy. Come on, Italy. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all got foreclosures, and everybody in Italy pays their mortgage, don't they? They pay their mortgage in Italy. You cannot tell me that y'all are not paying your mortgage in Italy. I already know. I know y'all are. Camilla from Alaska. She's over there selling igloos and ice. Everybody say hey to Camilla. Everybody say hey. In Alaska. I need to talk to the board about these kids being out of school. Maybe we out. We on fall break. We are on fall break already. So y'all, you know, okay, first of all, you know, when we get on here, we get all kinds of comments, but we'll do good. So introduction real quick. Hey, you guys, welcome. I'm Ashley Pickens here in Memphis, Tennessee. You guys, I am in Memphis, Tennessee. I have been in real estate since 2006 as a real estate agent, also as a real estate broker, but y'all know me as your auction mama. I'm the one that says going once, going twice, sold at the courthouse. I auction off foreclosures here in Memphis, Shelby County, all the way to Nashville and parts of Mississippi. But I also try to help people who are in foreclosure, right? Thank you, Mr. Carter. I wish I was 28. I got licensed in 2006, and in 2006, I was 21. I have been licensed since I was 21. I got licensed, so I was In 2006, I was 21. That tells you exactly how old I am, right? What did I do before real estate? I was a flight attendant. You guys, can y'all believe that I was a flight attendant? I was a nanny. I was a flight attendant. And then I got into real estate, right? 1983, baby. 1983. So I'm a Sagittarius. My birthday is in December, if that matters. But I liked freedom, right? That's what they talk about with Sagittarius. Freedom. So I was a flight attendant, nanny, and then I found real estate, and that was just my calling. And I have been here, it'll be 20 years next year for me. So I've been a real estate agent, real estate broker over an entire firm of agents. And then about, has it been 8 years at this point, I became an auctioneer, and I auction off foreclosures for the banks. That is what I do. So, and then I have master classes. I have 600 videos on YouTube, you guys. 600 videos on YouTube talking about foreclosures. My most viewed video is how to buy a house at the auction, because nobody ever talked about auctions, right? And so I feel like the auction can still be pretty hush-hush. I think more people are starting to find out about the auction, but I feel like then nobody was really talking about it. They'd say, look in the paper for auction. You'd be like, what paper am I supposed to look in? What paper? Hello from Portland, Oregon. I was about to say Oregon. Hello from Portland. So I used to fly the smaller United planes. I didn't fly international. That's where you get most of your money. I flew domestic, so I wasn't making a ton of money. And then I became a nanny. And then I found real estate. I was watching, I always tell y'all, that was when Flip That House was huge. Do y'all remember that show, Flip That House, with Armando? And it was like Flip or Flop. All the flipping shows were like big back in 2006, 2007, 2008. Everybody had a flipping TV show. So I was watching that and I was like, that's what I want to do, right? And I didn't know anybody in real estate like that. I mean, my mom and grandma owned a house, but I didn't know like any real. I'm 21, right? Y'all, I was in college, and my major, I double majored in criminal justice and sociology. So I Googled real estate schools near me. I Googled and I found the closest real estate school near me. And I went, I didn't know anybody, and I passed the class, and that's where I am. When is going to be the next REO training? How to negotiate the bank-owned properties? Do y'all want me to do another REO masterclass? I feel like we're going to talk about REOs tonight. That was the plan. Let's talk REOs tonight. If you still feel like I need to do a masterclass, maybe I'll do one Friday or something. This coming Friday. Y'all, we got mentorship on Wednesday. I'm volunteering at my kids' book fair. I used to love the book fair when I was in school, so I'm volunteering at her book fair. So maybe Friday. If we'll figure it out. But tonight we're talking REOs. So yes, you guys, I'm reading your comments. I'm 30, still trying to get my jam. Single mom, 3 kids with no support, but I'm trying to get a better position financially. Sierra, you can do it. Sierra, hear me? From one mama to another mama. You can do it. And this, I'm going to speak to everybody. I'll speak to everybody, not just Sierra. I feel like you just have to have a plan and you have to stick to it. And I think being disciplined is really hard for a lot of people. Being self-motivated is really hard for a lot of people. But as a mama, baby, you don't tell me to get up, right? When you become a mama, that hustle muscle gets a little stronger. Not a little, gets a lot stronger. So for me, welcome everybody. I see everybody coming in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sierra, I would just like to tell you that you can do it. I did it, right? From one mama to another, but you have to have a plan and you have to stick to it, right? That means and this is for everybody in here. That means telling people, no, I can't go. That means cutting the fat off of all your expenses. When you get paid, you do what you know you're supposed to do with your check. If that's pay off your credit cards, pay a bill, save some money. we can't go out to eat. We just gonna have to scale back and cook, and we're gonna have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I mean, I know as a mama, you know what I mean. But you have to sacrifice, right? I remember when I got a job, and we're gonna jump in tonight, y'all. I promise I'm not gonna ramble, and because y'all know I can talk. I remember I had to get a job right when I had Gabby. You know, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times we don't have insurance, right? So I was working at a community college, you guys, at a community college. And I feel like a lot of people get, I'm in for the one tonight and Friday because I learned a lot from you. Oh, Isabel. You just have to make a plan and you stick to the plan, right? So when I got that job, it was not, I'm going to be here forever. I'm going to retire from this job. I knew I wanted to do real estate. And I said, I'm going to get this job. I'm going to save money and I'm going to pay off my car, right? They can't come get my car. I have to have my car because I'm a real estate agent. But this is why I have this job, right? And and when I tell you I was there 2 years, right? People were like, you're not going to decorate your office? Nope, because I ain't going to be here long. I'm not going to be here long. All I need to do is pay my car off. In those 2 years, y'all, I was the best agent you would have ever thought. All my clients were investors, international investors were my client. I'm talking Hong Kong, Australia, Canada were my clients. I was working the international investors hard, right? And I was like, they would be like, dang, she's on it. And they didn't know I'm sitting at a desk. So every time an email pops up, I can respond to it. I can send you houses. Boom, right? Gabby came with me to open houses, right? Gabby was with me when I was showing houses, but I was determined. And when I was going to leave, they were like, we'll offer you a raise. No, because this is not my final destination. I just needed this job to pay off my car so I could, because I wanted to do real estate, right? I wanted to be at home with my baby. So I think a lot of us get, like, we have a plan and then you get distracted and sidetracked and then there goes your plan out the window. Like, when you got mouths you have to feed, baby, you can't get distracted. Like, you cut off the outside world. I used to tell my friends, I got invited to birthday parties. And they'd be like, you going to my birthday party? I'd be like, I can't. And my friend was like, why can't you come to my birthday party? And I was like, honestly, I'm just locked in right now. I can't go out. Like, I'm just trying to work this and take care of my baby and build the life that we're supposed to have, right? And that's what I did. So I encourage everybody, we in a season of locking in, right? And you know if you need to lock in or not, right? You know you're supposed to be living a different life. If you need to save money, if we had another 2008 to happen, how many people on here would really be able to take advantage if we had a whole foreclosure wave come, right? And you could pick up properties for 50 cents on the dollar. If you could get properties for half off, how many people could actually buy them? Everybody's like, I can buy it. I can do it. I got money. I'm a baller. But if it was to actually happen, how many people could actually put their money where their mouth is? You know what I mean? So what I say, what Denzel say, I'm leaving here with something, right? In the next 5 years, I'm leaving here with something, right? But that takes sacrifice, that takes discipline, that takes, right? I'm self-motivated. I am very self-motivated, right? Like, I don't need anybody to be like, I'm not the type that's like, do you like this video that I'm putting up? What do you think of this? Do you think I should post this? Do you think I should have a masterclass? I'm the final say so, right? I'm the first and the last say so. I'm going to post the content. I'm going to have a masterclass. I'm going to go live, right? I'm going to get up. I'm going to mail my letters every single week, right? I mail every week for the last 5 years. If a lot of you in real estate, right? What is something that you have done consistently for the last 5 years in your business? I have mailed letters every week for the last 5 years. So I am somebody who can work consistently for a long period of time without needing any support. Good job, Ashley. So good. I'm so proud of you. Do so. I don't need any of that. I don't need any of that, right? It's something that's knocking me off my goal. It's hard to stay consistent and focused. I'm trying so hard to keep there. Like I want to be a successful mother. Sierra, you can do it, baby. You can do it from one mama to another mama. I'm telling you. And just look, if you got to cry, go in the shower and cry. Look, mamas, we all know, even if you're not a mama, just parents, people in general, right? Life be lifing. Life be lifing, right? And you just pick yourself up and dust yourself off and you just keep going one foot in front of the other. That's what I tell all my clients. Y'all, we're going to get into tonight, I promise. I tell all my clients when they call me and they're crying and they're in foreclosure and they're about to lose their house and they don't know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Yes, Kenneth, I don't need external validation from anybody, right? I don't ask you to proofread my videos, anything, right? But I think Custom J, this works for me. I also email as well, but this definitely works for me. And I think everybody should do what works for them, whatever marketing, cold calling, door knocking, as long as you're doing something, right? But Sierra, it's not going to happen overnight. It might not happen in a year. It might not happen in 2 years, right? But you just got to keep going. Turn the world off and just focus on the goal is what I would say. You be like, look, we're not having 150 channels. You're going to have whatever, Netflix, that's all you get. You know, Christmas, we're not going crazy on Christmas, right? You just do what you have to do. So you guys, tonight we are talking about, that's my little pep talk to let you know that you can do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes you got to change your environment. And sometimes you got to get rid of some of your friends. And sometimes you got to stop talking to some family members. You got to do whatever it takes to make sure you and your kids have the best life possible. That's what it takes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take a couple steps back to make some strides forward, right? You just do what you have to do, right? So, no, nobody can ever move in with me. Never. Never. Hey, Camille. Welcome. Camille's down there in Memphis. Oh. Y'all, it's people. I have another live coming in there waiting in the other live. We're supposed to talk about REO properties, right? No, you're not late, Tiffany. Come on in here. I just started rambling. So no, you're not late. Let me close this other live. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to close this one because I had 2 lives scheduled because I didn't know if the Wi-Fi was going to act up. And I think it's people in the other live too, you guys. Sorry. So, let's talk about REO properties. Let's talk about that tonight. Let's talk about stats, the latest foreclosure numbers. I feel like this is like our old Sundays where we used to get together on Sundays, you know? And I used to talk real estate and all kinds of things. We are live right now, 7:15, Sunday, October 12th. We are live right now. Thanks, Camille. Good evening, everybody. Camille is in the mentorship. Shout out to Camille. If y'all want to join the mentorship, come see me on Wednesday. I teach you how to reach out to pre-foreclosures. The best mentorship ever. Marvin, you didn't have to say that to get mute. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. It's what we got 76 people in here. Let's go over foreclosure numbers, you guys. Let's go over foreclosure numbers. I'll drop the link again if you want to join the mentorship. You guys, it's hard because y'all are on the phone. You know what I mean? And I can't like comment like on, I'll try to figure out in the description under this video. It's the link, right? It is a 6 weeks mentorship. That's what I tell y'all. But it's actually a lifetime mentorship. Lifetime. Once you get in, you're just in forever. I invite you back. You know, you're just in forever. And we've got so many people who have just grown since the start of the mentorship, gotten properties. We got agents listed on the REO side. Avriel, she usually pops on here. Down there in Austin, she's got 30 REO listings. And we remember when she didn't have any down there in Austin. She sent out her first batch of letters. She sent out, what was it, like 18 letters, and like 15 people called her back on her first batch of letters. Y'all, Texas is a foreclosure hotspot. Texas is a foreclosure hot spot. It just is. If I lived in Texas, I would work that foreclosure market for sure. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, those big, y'all, I would work that market. But yeah, and we got people who do BPOs, like 300 BPOs a month. Like our community is very, very strong in the mentorship. I will try to drop the link again if I can figure out how to do it. But let's talk foreclosure numbers. To be smart, to be in Mississippi, it's about buying taxes and property at the same time. So tax, Antonio, you talking tax lien properties, like tax sale properties? It's about buying taxes and property at the same time. Is that what you're talking about? I'm just trying to make sure. Good evening, you guys. I'm trying to catch as the comments come. Let's talk foreclosure numbers. If you've been with me, I read this article yesterday. I would ask you if you want to look at me or if you want to look at the article. And I know y'all gonna say y'all want to look at me, right? So let's talk foreclosures. Let's see where they are. The only thing I ask of you is if you hear your city or your state called, you got to say, here, Ashley, you got to say, that's me. You got to put a heart in the chat, some little flames, something, and tell me what's going on where you live. Well, you don't have to tell me, but you know what I mean. Let me know if that's where you live. So here we go. These are the numbers. Foreclosure activity increases in quarter 3, 2025. So this is quarter 3 numbers and September numbers. Okay. So we've got 101,000 properties in the foreclosure process for quarter 3. 101,513 properties. For everybody who is new here, you guys, foreclosure is 3 phases. 3 phases when it comes to foreclosure. First phase, homeowner gets behind on their mortgage like 3 months. The lender files that notice of sale. That's the first filing. The first phase. The second filing, the auction is scheduled. Like me, your auction mama. And the third and final phase of foreclosure is the lender repossesses the property and it becomes an REO property. Those are the 3 phases. So quarter 3, we had 101,000 people somewhere in one of those 3 phases. Okay, keep in mind, when you come to my live, I'm going to teach you, right? So understand properties can go through the foreclosure phase multiple times. You can get multiple filings on the same property, right? So back in 2008, 2010, because y'all know when the market crashed, 2008, we didn't see the peak of foreclosures until 2010, 2 years later, okay? So understand it's always a delay with foreclosures. So in 2010, it was like 1 million properties had 2 million foreclosure filings. And you're like, how does 1 million properties have 2 million filings? It's because people will go through the foreclosure process multiple times. They'll go into foreclosure. They'll file bankruptcy. They'll come out of bankruptcy, go back into foreclosure. They'll get a modification. They'll stop paying the modification, go back into foreclosure. They'll get their auction scheduled. They'll promise that they're going to sell their house. They don't sell their house. They go back into foreclosure. So it's like a constant cycle, right? And we see that a lot here. Everybody's filing bankruptcy to stop their auction. That's what happens, right? Bankruptcy will stop an auction immediately, okay? So a lot of homeowners are filing bankruptcy. You come out of bankruptcy and they go right back into foreclosure again. So that's how you have multiple filings on the same property. Does that make sense to everybody? Just a quick lesson on how this works, okay? So now we have 101,000 properties in the foreclosure process. It shows that 35,000 properties with foreclosure filings in September of 2025. So 35,000 properties went into foreclosure 2025. This is up 20% from last year. Now let's talk about foreclosure starts. The cities and the states with the most foreclosure starts. Brand new. Homeowners gotten behind and the lenders filed that foreclosure. 72,317 properties started the foreclosure process in quarter 3. 72,000 properties started the foreclosure process in quarter 3. Okay, states that had the greatest number of foreclosure starts. We've got Texas, number one. They number one on every list. Texas with 9,736 new foreclosures, almost 10,000 in Texas alone. Foreclosure start, new foreclosures. Florida, 8,909 foreclosure starts. Florida has the most properties on the market right now. They have the most houses out of all the states. And it's a lot of people probably distress selling. Laura, you from Florida? Thank you, Laura, for following directions, Laura. Laura raised her hand. Thank you. We're going to see a lot of distress selling. What is distress selling? You can't afford your mortgage. You lost your job. You got laid off. Your property taxes doubled. Now you can't afford your mortgage, right? So now you've got to sell your house before you drown, right? Before you go into foreclosure. So Florida, 8,909. California, 7,862. Illinois, 3,515 foreclosure starts. And New York had 3,234. Minnesota, you gonna have to get you some. Okay, everybody's raising their hand. I'm calling your states. Minnesota, everybody must be paying their mortgage in Minnesota. Or you can work Texas market, right? You could work Texas market. Well, come on, California, y'all hear your states? You can work Texas. You would just have to get you some like boots on the ground, you know. Some boots on the ground is what you would have to do, right? You could make those calls and do that marketing, and maybe you could JV some deals. You know what I mean? Boom. Los Angeles area have been helping two acquaintances negotiate. Come on, help the people out. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's talk cities. Cities with the most foreclosure starts. Santa Monica. I told you, Zinjira, you was from California. I remembered that. Okay, so California, West Coast. Good morning, everybody, to California, because I know y'all just woke up. So I hope you're enjoying your little tofu scramble and doing Pilates on the beach. Good morning. Okay, so cities with the greatest number of foreclosure starts. Houston, Texas. I told you. Houston, Texas had 3,763 foreclosure starts. So if the whole state of Texas had 9,000, basically, and Houston, Texas had 3,000 by itself, almost 4,000. Houston, Texas, 3,763. New York City had 3,452. Chicago, Illinois, 3,144. Miami, Florida, 2,502. And Los Angeles, California, with 2,321 new foreclosures. Homeowners going into the foreclosure process. So, okay, let's talk. Everybody's got their hands up. Everybody got their hands up. Okay, let's talk about overall highest foreclosure rates. The states and the cities with the overall highest foreclosures. So, states would be Florida, Nevada. Is San Diego on the list? Y'all were on the list. Y'all haven't been on the list lately. But y'all were on the list, I think, maybe 6 months ago. You know what I mean? Maybe I can show you. We'll look up San Diego zip code and we'll see what we can find for you. Okay, so Florida, Nevada. Now I know how to say it. Nevada, South Carolina, Illinois, and Delaware. Delaware is like number 2. Highest overall foreclosures across the country. What the heck is going on in Delaware? Like, you don't ever hear about anything happening in Delaware. Like, you don't ever... I mean, I know they part of the 50 states, but you don't ever hear Delaware just kind of be quiet a lot of times. But now, all of a sudden, Delaware is number 2 with the most foreclosures across the country. Y'all, is that where, like, a lot of government jobs are in Delaware and those federal jobs? In Delaware? I don't know. Okay, let's talk about cities. Cities with the overall highest foreclosure rates. We've got Lakeland, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Cape Coral, Florida, Cleveland, Ohio, and Ocala, Florida. Florida, Florida, Florida. Florida and Texas. Y'all always hot spots. Florida and Texas. They said y'all have overbuilt in Florida. Y'all have overbuilt in Texas, especially down there in like San Antonio, overbuilt. And now builders are in trouble. Builders trying to get rid of properties. Florida, y'all overbuilt. Memphis. Hey, Jermon. Welcome, welcome. Florida. Florida fighting every battle known to man. Florida just is on the battlefield. Is what you are on, Florida. Against property taxes, hurricanes, crocodiles, HOA, home prices. Y'all just battling for your life in Florida. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, let's talk about major cities, overall highest foreclosure rates. We've got, including Cleveland at number 4. Jacksonville, Florida is at number 6. Las Vegas, Nevada is at number 9. Houston, Texas is at number 14. And Orlando, Florida is at number 17. Who brought in Delaware during the pandemic have started leaving the state and heading back. Oh, is that what's going on in Delaware? Like I said, you don't really be hearing about Delaware. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just assume like Delaware is up there with like, what, Rhode Island and Connecticut, and I thought everybody had money in Delaware. But y'all ain't paying y'all's mortgage in Delaware. But I get it. There's so much going on and people getting laid off and furloughed and you just don't know, right? Okay. So let's talk about the last and final phase of foreclosure, REO properties, right? Lenders repossessed 11,000 properties through foreclosure in Q3. Delaware is just across the bridge from DC. Oh, I got you. Okay. So yeah, a lot of them government and federal jobs up there. So lenders repossessed 11,723 properties. That is nothing. In 3 months, they've only repossessed 11,000 properties. The banks don't want these houses back. The banks don't want them back. The banks aren't in the business the banks are not in the property management business. When you take houses back, now you've got to winterize them, make sure they're safe, get the electrical turned on, trash them out, all that. Banks don't want to do that. Now you got to babysit the houses. So banks aren't really taking these houses back. They're really trying to work with homeowners to keep them in their house and do everything they can because they really don't want the house back. I feel like when banks take the houses back, that's basically saying we lost, right? The game is over on this property. We lost, right? This is definitely a non-performing loan, a defaulted loan where we are not going to get our money back, right? So they're doing their best to be like, we don't want your house. Keep your house. I don't want your keys. Keep your keys. So only 11,000 properties. Yes, I'm in Miami. We are going through it. Look at me. Miami, Florida, y'all been on the list for the last couple of years. We were on PropWire last week, and if y'all were on the live with me last week, and I got on PropWire, and I put in Miami-Dade and pre-foreclosures, and it pulled up 2,300 pre-foreclosures in Miami-Dade County. And I thought it was wrong. I'm like, there can't be this many people in Miami. All the influencers live in Miami and drink their matchas. I'm just kidding. I like Miami. I'm not, I like Florida. But 2,300 people in y'all on the list. In September, Minnesota, we have less than 300 homes. And I know y'all paying your bills in Minnesota. Look, what else y'all got to do in Minnesota besides pay your bills? I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm happy for y'all and y'all's 850 credit scores and your on-time bill paying selves in Minnesota. I'm just kidding. A lot of shoddy construction in Southern Florida coming to Rose. I think it's a lot of shoddy construction everywhere. Builders were just they were making money hand over fist when the interest rates went down to 1% and 2%. And then now it's like, I don't know. They was just throwing up houses back then. But now I know y'all know what builder we don't buy from, right? Don't let me have to call any names. It starts with the doctor. What are the first, what's the abbreviation for doctor? Hey, did I miss ATL updates? No, you haven't missed them. You're just right on time. Right on time. States that had the greatest number of REOs in Q3 were, guess, Texas. Texas had 1,288 REOs. California had 1,132. Florida had 762. Pennsylvania had 708. And New York had 644 REOs. Rhymes with Morton. That's right. What's the first in charades? The builder that you do not buy from. The builder you do not buy from. What is the abbreviation for doctor? And the last part rhymes with Morton. And that tells you who you do not get a house from. I'm not calling any names. I'm not calling any names. But y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Great. I think everybody got the point on that, didn't we? Did we get the point on that comment? Yes. Thanks, Camille. Okay, last thing in this article, you guys. The average time it takes to foreclose on properties. The average timeline it takes to foreclose on a property. How many days? The average days to foreclose are 608 days. It takes 608 days for a property to start and finish foreclosure. That lets you know how long a lot of people have not paid their mortgage, right? Now, states that had the longest foreclosure timeline. Louisiana, it takes 3,632 days to foreclose in Louisiana. 3,632 days. I feel like that's like 20 years, isn't it? 3,000. Nevada, 2,667 days. The Incredible Gail, you down there in Louisiana? Well, you got plenty of time to work the foreclosures, baby, because they not foreclosing on them. You just reach out to them because they not. Maybe that's why they stopped paying, because the bank is not coming to get their house in Louisiana. So they just not paying and not getting foreclosed on. And they living the life, I guess, down there. We ain't going to talk about them, Tiffany. We're not going to talk about them. Even though we all know they're in a class action suit right now. Memphis, look, Memphis not on the list, but they'll foreclose on you. And you know, we're a non-judicial state. They'll foreclose on you in what, 30, 45 days if you let them, if you don't talk to them. Hold on. Rhode Island, 1,929 days. New York, 1,867 days. And Hawaii, 1,710 days to foreclose. States with the shortest average foreclosure timeline. West Virginia had 135 days. Texas, 154 days. Virginia, 160 days. Wyoming, 165 days. And Montana, 174 days. These are probably non-judicial states. If they're foreclosing quickly, it's probably a non-judicial state. Can you help me buy a foreclosure or bank-owned home in Texas? I'll show you some sites. We can talk about it tonight. I'll show you some sites. We can talk about it tonight. Bars. Real estate has been in the nuts in Dallas where I live. Texas, but y'all just better hold on. If you're in Texas, just hold on. Y'all gonna have some properties come down the pipe, right? Foreclosures, y'all ridiculous in Texas. Y'all number one on every list. You're number one on every list. So